Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week that we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host, Eric. How you doing? Good. Let's get to the news. The mass media has been just really hankering for more war. If you turn on the TV recently, you'll see all kinds of people asking Press Secretary Jen Psaki, why the administration isn't doing more to, get some bombs and get some planes and get in there, get into that European war over there in Ukraine. Why aren't we doing more? I swear, every single question. It was absolutely insane. So I decided to turn to pop news because I don't care about war anymore. I'm over it. I want to do it. Did you know that Simone Biles turned 25 this year, and she rocked a chainmail dress, although I see that some millennial wrote this headline because it says Y2K inspired chainmail dress when they clearly mean Beyond Thunderdome inspired chainmail dress. So millennials still don't know what they're talking about. Anti-war protester stormed into the TV studios of Russian state TV, and everybody was talking about that. And the censorship is so bad in Russia, of course, they couldn't even show the sign in Russian media to talk about the sign that was shown on Russian media. So they were just like showing pictures of her holding up this big white rectangle. Like her protest was nothing, but it was indeed denouncing war and the invasion of Ukraine. Lawrence Tribe, a Harvard professor of constitutional law, has said the evidence is clear. There is now more than enough evidence to prosecute Donald Trump after a supposedly difficult question of criminal intent. Prosecutors basically should have no trouble at all convincing a jury. And he's laid out a very long page of things that all of us would just go, yeah, I know. We were all there. We heard it. Why are you so slow?
We were watching it. We weren't there. We were watching it on our screens. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah, sure. By the way, too, for those of you who are actually watching this visually, you'll notice kittens on a boombox is the picture here because I have a delightful extension from my browser that is called Make America Kittens Again. And if it even thinks it's Trump related, it just puts in pictures of kittens, and it's kept me with a very much lower blood pressure. And I appreciate it and recommend it. There you go. Brought to you by Make America Kittens Again. Russia decided to sanction Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, among others, which is just hilarious. Okay, Hillary, your money's no good in Russia. They also sanctioned Hunter Biden and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, which just, like, I'm sure you didn't hear about it because what a collective shrug that went around the world. Unions have seen unusually promising movement amid a wave of victories. Just a couple days ago, Amazon warehouses in at least 3 different cities had evening walkouts for broken promises and a $3 an hour raise. So we are seeing much more unionization, protests, and activism than we have seen in ages, and it is inspiring and hopeful. In a news story you probably didn't catch, but a recent study has come out that lead from gasoline blunted the IQ of about half of the U.S. population, study says. Now, leaded gas was banned, of course, back in 1996, but almost everybody who was born before 1996 was exposed to quite a bit of lead in the air, and they are figuring that it actually cost Americans about 6 IQ points. I read a lot about this, and you should know that, if average IQs are 100, most people are above average if you ask them. 6 points off of 150 IQ is one thing, but 6 points off of an 80 IQ is another, and that's something to consider. Anyway, considerable press about the lead in gasoline that we've all been exposed to and that has decreased our intelligence, but probably missed it because there was other things going on. In closing, always got to do an animal story. And this is the true story on IFLscience.com of Cocaine Bear, the true story of a bear that ate 70 pounds of cocaine. Subheadline, step aside, Paddington, your services are no longer required. Pooh, a new movie is in production. Cocaine Bear. Now, basically, the story is that a drug smuggling parachuter, para guy. He jumped out of a plane and his plane crashed with 70 pounds of cocaine in it. And this bear found a bag of it and admirably decided to see what would happen if he ate it. And then he decided to eat 39 more of those bags, which, wow. And in case you're wondering, you don't need to be a trained biologist to know that no animal on the planet can consume that much cocaine. So he died. They found 40 empty bags and a dead bear. And you're saying to yourself, well, what happened to that bear? Well, it turned out he was remarkably well preserved. And Pablo Eskobear now lives in a mall in Kentucky, as you would probably have presumed. I'll let you look that one up. So that's the animal story in closing on the news for Facebook for the Blind. Now handing it off for some funny memes to my beautiful co-host.
Actually, Eric, I'm going to do something unprecedented here and ask you to give us, if you will report just one more story that I have linked in the chat.
Linked in the chat story.
I've linked it in the chat. If you will take the reins, I would greatly appreciate it.
Sure.
Something of a follow-up from last week.
That's true. The U.S. Senate approved a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. That's right. And this is a bill actually sponsored by my mother's favorite, Marco Rubio. I actually swear to her every year that she can pick one politician and I won't talk crap about him. And it's been Mario for years. And I said, hey, your boy did good. He's making daylight savings time permanent. And what's hilarious is that immediately the, actually crowd immediately jumped in the comments and said, we really should preserve standard time and not daylight savings time because actually biologically, anyway, there's a whole bunch of people doing it. The whole thing is, first off, the Senate, of course, is not going to get it right, even if they pass the law. The House is dragging its feet and won't get it right, even if they manage to pass it, which is doubtful. So despite the fact that there is no lobby for big clock, this bill with no lobbyists, that nobody wants daylight savings time. Nobody needs it. Now, I don't care what you've heard about farmers or anything else. Nobody wants this. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't do any good. And yet we can't change it because
I think you're wrong. For the Senate doesn't vote on something that hasn't passed the House yet.
No, it passed the Senate. It's going back to the House.
It's going back to the House. Oh, dude, listen, this is going through. This is a fucking layup. And this doesn't make it that we keep bouncing back and forth. It does the opposite of that. It just makes time stay the same year round.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck which one they choose. I just don't want the fucking back and forth. It's the yo-yo that kills me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. I'm taking over.
Exactly.
Taking over. Doing it. Oh, thank you. This is Trash Can Paul leading things off. Here we have a meme. There's a stairway, normally what you would think of like a stairway to heaven. It's a stairway going up into the clouds toward the left, and on the right, it's the road. And there's two guys who kind of look like metalheads from the 1980s. And the first guy says, we split ways here. And then you see on the left, it says stairway to piss. And on the right, it's highway to shit. The speaker is wearing a shirt that says PP pisser. And the other guy is wearing a jacket that says poop shitter. Listen, this is fucking ridiculous. But I love Trash Can Paul, which is why he's here again. Here we have a picture of a man who looks too attractive to be smart. And below that, it's a Snapchat, and it says, just found out about World Wars, sad emoji. Damn, sad emoji. I hope Earth wins. Sad emoji. He does have a great jawline. Salad Dazed, friend of the show. Salad Dazed has a picture of let me just read it first. Not everybody knows this, but every car has an emergency ska button. And it's a picture of the horn on a steering wheel that you press to honk the horn. Emergency ska button. Credited for at woke Johnny Bravo _. Yes. You know what? I've been so bad at following the news that I don't recall her first name, but being nominated for Supreme Court Justice, Brown.
Yep.
Is standing there wearing this is a cartoon, wearing a suit and talking to old butt chug Brett, who's wearing a hat, a red hat with like the beer funnel hat. And he's saying to her, hope you're into ugly crying and Heineken farts. Welcome to the Supreme Court. Fucking scourge on our society. Fucking _ sober, friend of the show, fucking sober. Thank you for watching and listening. They posted this meme, and I have a little bit of a story about this one. The picture is a woman who looks very disheveled and like she's just woken up. And it says, you ever wake up from a college party so wild that you thought you missed class, but it's Sunday, and you're a 32-year-old alcoholic who's ruined their life? So I posted this on my Instagram story. You know, I just like added it to my story, which also is linked to my Facebook account, and didn't think another thing of it. And then went to bed, and I woke up with so many very kind, very loving DMs from people who love me and know that I am in recovery and I've been sober for years, saying, hey, haha, this is really funny, but seriously, how you doing? Like, no. Michael's still sober. I just wasn't when I was 32. I'm 38 now. Everything's going fine. So thanks for caring. This is Seinfeld for millennials. Oh. And this is difficult to describe. Jerry has a bun and Harry Potter glasses and a neck tattoo. Then there's George Costanza, who's wearing a weed shirt and a toque that says Supreme, and Buddy Holly glasses. Elaine has half of her head shaved and a nose piercing. And Kramer, I think, have done a serious injustice to him. He has a Vanilla Ice haircut. I don't know how else to call this. It's a Vanilla Ice haircut with a full fucking beard and a puff coat and some sweet chains. I honestly would watch this show. I hate it, but I am a millennial and I would absolutely watch this show. Mason Menenga, friend of the show, friend of mine. He had actually what was my favorite tweet of the week. He says, my favorite story of Jesus is when he sent a demon into a bunch of cops and then they drowned themselves in the sea. And yes, earlier translations of this story is that Jesus drives the demons into a bunch of pigs. But Mason, of course, called the pigs cops. Okay. Dr. Economy Stonks at Dr.
Okay.
Penis Boob.
That took me a second. Thank you.
It's so good. It's so good. He drove him into a bunch of cops. At Dr. Penis Boob says Nintendo has fucking ruined Mario Kart. And you see they've posted 2 pictures of Wario, who is on his motorcycle, who just has a gargantuan ass, and riding a motorcycle, and I don't know, it looks like he's farting fire from his thick booty. This is just a picture of Tony Soprano, and it says inarticulate Italian noises.
That was good. That was a good one.
Oh, I love it. Last one for this round from Glow Fuck Yourself. Says it has a picture of a person cleaning out their ear with a Q-tip, and it says, imagine doing this and getting your ass ate at the same time. But my favorite part of this, number one, those of you who are watching will notice that this picture was not liked by me, that little heart is not red. But number 2, Glow Fuck Yourself comments, my DMs are always open. Just putting it out there. All right, Go fuck yourself. Best of luck.
I remember a few weeks back, I believe you showed a meme that was like reasons to not kill yourself, and it was like Q-tip feel good in ear.
Listen, man, you gotta learn how to appreciate those little things. Some days that's the only shit you got.
Oh yeah, no, if the sun shines, I am outside getting my face knit for just for a minute, and I'm gonna stop and just let the sun be on my side. Yes, I concur. You got to find those good things.
I have an admission.
Ooh.
For that last one, that little heart, I did click it.
Right on.
Well done, Beverly. And thank you, Kenneth, for telling us it's Katanji Brown. Is that right?
Yes. Jackson, I believe.
Katanji Brown Jackson. Yeah.
A tag on that because at Covey_93 says, don't know much about what will happen during Judge Jackson's confirmation, but I'm sure she won't cry and tell us she loves beer.
Oh, shit.
People have to hold themselves to such a higher standard. It blows my mind. Anyway, all right. So ostensibly the first round, Act 1, is supposed to be somewhat wholesome, although that has turned out to be more of a trademark than an actuality. And this week I actually did something myself. I posted Lantana dark chocolate hummus that I found at the grocery store. And I said, okay, this has to stop. And here's the thing. You'll notice that the comment count on that is 26 comments long, because there's no better argument you can start on Facebook than food, especially chocolate and hummus, apparently. So I got the trifecta, and people told me it was delicious and all kinds of wonderful things I could make with it. And all I'm saying is abomination. Okay? An abomination. You are spitting in the face of our creator. And I will come back to that. I said, I actually had to make a second one because I made this post and I was like, all right, I need to do a second one. This is the Mallory Archer meme when she's saying, do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants. Except I've modified it. Oh, crap. Oh, man. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. I'm dumb. This is so bad.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I said, do you want, crossed out ants, banana, cinnamon, mushroom, peaches, and blue cheese pizza? Because chocolate hummus is how you get banana, cinnamon, mushroom, peaches, and blue cheese pizza. I think is what she would say. One of my favorite things about Facebook is that it will blast you back to the past. And I thought this was great. 6 years ago in March 19th. So I feel like every time a GOP primary candidate drops out, Oompa Loompas should appear and sing a song to teach us about the perils of gluttony and greed. Which, it's like, that's a good memory. Next one from friend of the show, Dave King. Conversation starts. How big would you say the asteroid is? Oh, it's definitely smaller than a giraffe. What? Yeah, there's no way it could be as big as a giraffe. Why are you measuring it in giraffes? Maybe half a giraffe. Stop measuring everything in giraffes. Headline from the Daily Mail Online: asteroid half the size of a giraffe strikes Earth off the coast. And I really like that somebody posted a Hank Hill, a really psychedelic Hank Hill with all kinds of surrealist stuff going on. And it says, dang it, Bobby, I knew that wasn't a portobello mushroom. And also the poster, the original poster, David King says, which half? Which half?
That's a great question, actually, because yeah, the neck half is pretty small.
Bottom
but if
half?
it's the ass half,
half.
Yeah.
Left, I don't know about, maybe he's right-handed, right hoof.
Maybe it's left half. Maybe you think of it cut right down the middle, like a hot dog style, not like a hamburger.
Who knows? Exactly. The philosophy segment of our show. I got about 4 more here. Friend of the show, Adam David Miller, said this is a pretty good analogy, and it's a pie chart. It's about 3/4 blue and about 1/4 orange, and the blue is labeled hydrogen and the orange is labeled helium. And it says types of atoms in the universe: helium 25%, hydrogen 74%. There's a little fraction that's the other 1%. It says atoms are binary. They are either intended to be hydrogen or helium. We can't just scrap this worldview just because of a handful of exceptions.
Right, that's dope.
I know. It's like that. Anyway, I had to think about that one for a while. It's my little mandel there. All right, I got about 3 more wholesome-ish memes. I like to call this segment of the show, can somebody please check on the librarians, from the librarians think tank. Michelle has posted, finally, a life plan I can get behind. And there's a big graphic that's my 5-year plan, life plan. Year 1, drop out of society. Year 2, become a forest witch. Year 3, gain the favor of the forest spirit. Year 4, convince the forest spirit to turn me into a part ram, part owl, inhuman monstrosity. Part 5, live happily ever after, terrorizing mortals who dare to enter the forest of my domain. And the poster, Emily has said, people say I need to set achievable goals. All right. Second off, this is a posting. You've seen these in your local Facebooks where people are trying to sell items. This happens to be a chair that has 3 lamb's heads. It's probably lamb's fur. And it says exotic chair, parentheses, not satanic, $2,200. My friend Michael's like, that's just what a satanic chair would say.
Very suspicious. Also, I don't think you can just say that this isn't satanic. You don't get to just.
No.
I feel like we all get a vote on whether or not this is satanic.
Well, I think it calls for third-party peer review. Definitely not just a one. Not taking this poster's take. And
I have some Satanist friends who would love to have this chair. I'm just saying. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to talk to you about that after the show. This is my last. This is my last segment, our last meme for this segment. America's cultural decline into idiocy, ACDII, friend of the show, but I would not recommend following them. This is a picture of a woman posting a picture of Axl Rose, and it says, why can't I find a guy like this? It's Axl Rose, about 20, looking very svelte. And then Axl Rose comments, hey. And the original poster says, no. Axl Rose says, I'm literally the guy in the pic.
That's so awesome. Blue check mark and everything. That's Axl Rose saying that.
Oh my God.
Oh, brilliant.
So good.
Absolutely brilliant. Kicking off round 2. Here we go. Trash Can Paul, of course. Can't do without him. Friend of the show, Trash Can Paul. Thanks for listening, Trash Can. He has a picture of a whole bunch of people chowing down at a long, long table, all sitting in a row. And I mean, it doesn't even look like anybody's talking. Everybody is just stuffing their faces. And it's labeled 30 minutes after they bury you. And I know having a big dinner is not everybody's culture at funerals, but it is absolutely mine. And this one hit home. Charbronian posted 2 pictures of an avocado that they had taken a bite out of it like an apple, just bit right into it, skin and everything, and said, so I decided to try an avocado for the first time today, and this shit tastes terrible. Mm-hmm. There's 4,291 likes and over 1,000 retweets. And then they immediately responded to their own tweet and said, I think I've invoked Hispanic wrath because people keep replying in Spanish.
Excelente.
People keep replying in Spanish. This is so James Friedman. I don't know if anybody is familiar with James Friedman's work.
Oh yeah.
But people ask James Friedman to Photoshop things. James is a very gifted Photoshopper, and he constantly, purposefully, I assume, misunderstands their request. So Isabella sends this to James and sends a picture to James and says, hi, James, love your work. Can you remove my hair from my fiance's face without making me bald? Thanks. Sounds like a pretty simple request. And then you see they're sitting on a boat. There's a beautiful skyline behind them, and her hair is blowing in her fiance's face. So then you see the very next picture where James Friedman has made her neck impossibly long so that her head is well above his head. And it's a ridiculous picture, but her hair's no longer in his face. This is James Fridman's work. You should check him out. I will say that this is the show's second reference to a giraffe, I think. So anyway.
Wow.
High risk pregnancy retweeted at Ramen Cult, friend of the show at Ramen Cult, says Joe Exotic is Steve Irwin's Wario, which is Wario's second reference in this show. So weird how tonight's going.
Interesting.
Viney at Viney Yill says day 20, still lost at sea. Crew thinks I know how to plot a course with a protractor. I just like making it walk on the map. Pointy leg man. Viney has these weird little non sequitur pieces from stories. This is just a picture of a blue or purple, I'm colorblind, blob that says, lost my shape, trying to act casual. Trash Jones at J Zucks says, hey, sorry I acted weird the other day. I was trying so hard to act normal that it backfired.
Oh my God.
And I replied to this with this picture, which used to be the complaint on Facebook. It says what's going on, and there's a list of things. It's annoying or not interesting. I think it shouldn't be on Facebook. And then my favorite, I'm in this photo and I don't like it. This is a picture of a Starbucks cup, and where they normally write someone's name, they wrote C-A-R-K, Kark. And it's a Snapchat with the heading, I said my name was Mark with a C. Reminds me, but this guy I used to be friends with, he told me his name was Mark, and I said, do you spell it right with a K? He said, I spell it right with a C.
Oh, nice. That's good.
This is another NBCnews.com reports Ukraine asked Biden administration for armed drones, jamming gear, surface-to-air missiles, and Javelin anti-tank missiles. And Citus 334 says, Russia about to find out why the U.S. don't have universal health care.
That's the... All right, hang on. I got a tag on that one now. The one.
No, that's the end. That's my end of round 2, so take it away.
Okay. All right, then let me do a short round because I got something crazy for the last one. All right, so no, the one that I saw that was absolutely fantastic was a picture of all the aircraft, American aircraft on the field, and it says, Russia is going to fuck around and find out why Americans don't have universal health care.
Yeah, and honestly, I want to be really clear here. The funny thing about it is it's like we laugh because it's sad. Like, this is where all our money goes. I do want to be really clear that we are not beating the drums of war here at Facebook for the Blind. We are not wanting to go to war. But yeah, this is where all America's money is. Absolutely, 100%. Well, yeah. That in politicians' pockets.
Oh, God.
Obviously.
No, but mostly that. Oh, and we do actually spend quite a bit of it on oil, as everyone has reminded us this week.
Yeah. No fucking shit.
It was like, we spend more money on healthcare. Okay, just all right, fine. This next one I really liked quite a bit. It's Troy McClure from The Simpsons, and he's saying, Hi, I'm the CIA. You may remember me from such films as Who's This Guy Governing People on Top of Our Oil? Snack Wars, Revenge of the Fruit Company, Arming Afghans to fight Russia? What could possibly go wrong? Over a picture of Osama bin Laden. We've got, hey, where's all this cocaine coming from? over a picture of Gary Webb, author of the Dark Alliance series in the San Jose Mercury News. We have a picture of Colin Powell saying, a dictator still has the weapons that we gave him. And then the last one is just a guy in a black ski mask looking kind of terrorist in a generic way. It says, Moderate Rebels, a confusing love story. Posted by veterans of leftist infighting and passed along by friend of the show, Steve Randall. Thank you for being you, Steve. Appreciate all the support. Keep those cards and letters coming. George, friend of the show, George Crookshank. He actually posts some of the best memes, and I always steal whatever he does on Tuesday because he's never going to use it. And this is a 2-panel, and we have a picture from Calvin and Hobbes, and it says them. That's the dad from Calvin and Hobbes. He's going, yikes, watching TV. Not another man-made horror beyond my comprehension. And then it's a picture of me, and it's Griffin from Family Guy saying, me, sweet, man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. And if you know a friend of the show, George, you'd be like, that is such an accurate meme right there. That's all right. Got about 4 more for this bit. We got gas prices. Representative Pramila Jayapal said, we got a CNN headline here that says, oil executives admit to prioritizing shareholders over lowering gas prices. And representative says admitting it is the first step. Now it's time for big oil to lower costs. And friend of the show, Steve Hofstetter, says oil executives admit they're relieved Republican voters are dumb enough to blame their greed on Biden. There, I fixed it for you. Just if you've been on the social media, is stupid accurate for this last week. Friend of the show, Adam Kinzinger, one of the only Republicans that I like, wants to send MiGs to the Ukraine. David Sirota, former campaign manager for Bernie, says it's almost as if American culture laughing at Jimmy Carter in the 1970s for promoting energy conservation and renewables was incredibly stupid and destructive, jeopardizing our economy and our long-term ecological survival, which I think is hilarious. And this next one is a classic painting from friend of the show, Ricky Baldwin. Got 2 men sitting in a barn. One of them's got a pipe, and he says, you see what I did with all this corn? Cracked it all. The other man says, Jimmy, I cannot possibly tell you how much I don't care.
That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of dad joke groups. And for my final of round 2, the other 98% reposted a thing from Ask Reddit that says, what is your plan if nuclear war starts? And the top comment is, I'm pretty sure my employer wants me to work that day, so I guess I'm working.
Fucking me too, man. Fuck.
Right. Was it Thomas Aquinas who was like, I just keep plowing this field? Or like, whatever. Gotta work.
All right. Round 3. There's a picture of a mom driving a car and a kid who looks really shocked in the back seat, looking out the front windshield, and it says, dildo hits the windshield. Son, Mom, what was that? Mom, nothing, honey, just a bug. Son, sure had a big dick, though. so stupid. Zendaya, friend of the show, Zendaya, thanks for listening. Zendaya has a picture. She posted a picture of herself this week, and Tom Holland's at the back, and Tom Holland's in the pool with just his head sticking up, but Zendaya is, looking very beautiful on the side of the pool, and says, out here living my best life. And somebody comments, Tom is drowning. And Zendaya replies, this ain't about him. This is just, I don't know, it's just a John Pavlovitz meme, who's in John Pavlovitz, friend of the show, how we feel about John, how John feels about us. It's not identical. John says, Republicans are not afraid of critical race theory. They don't even know what it is. They're afraid of theories critical of racists. They know who they are. I actually think that's super fucking accurate. Philip Kostalecki says, my favorite kid I ever taught when I was a swim teacher was this little 4-year-old Italian boy. One time he sneezed and nobody said anything, so he just went, what? No bless yous for Giacomo? What? No bless yous for Giacomo? All right. Lynn at Hunky Lover says, sent this photo to my new job for my ID card, and this is what I get back. I am beyond disgusted. And on the left, you have just what looks like a normal I don't know, young woman. And then on the right, somehow they've distorted the picture to make her forehead way too big.
That is clearly a 5 head.
It's a 5 head, maybe a 6 head. Awesome. And the first comment says, unacceptable. Find who did this and use your mega mind powers on them. Well done, at Hermione Kate 14.
Very nice. Very.
All right. Glow fuck yourself. Second time this show says when you get paid bi-weekly. And then you see in the first picture, it's like really delicious looking sushi for week 1. Week 2 is just uncooked ramen. And then below that, you see week 1, it's lines of cocaine. And week 2, it's somebody who is smoking resin out of a bowl. Mm-hmm. AV Clark at Ann V Clark, friend of the show. Sorry about that. And says how millennials started versus how we're doing. And on the left, there's a picture of a very young Ashley Olsen, circa like Full House. And on the right is a headline that says Ashley Olsen goes hiking with a drink in one hand and a machete in the other.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yeah. Jade the Mighty says, I hope this email doesn't find you. I hope you've escaped, that you're free.
Nice.
This was something we haven't talked about yet, but that fascist from Colorado, I don't remember her name. It's like Bieber, but it's not quite Bieber. Like
Boebert.
Yeah.
We sound like bubbles bubbling up from a swamp. Yeah. Oh yeah.
She said like something about a lieutenant corporal reached out to her and thanked her for heckling the president during the State of the Union. And everyone quickly pointed out that rank doesn't exist. So in any branch of the military, the United States military, there is no lieutenant corporal. So somebody posted this picture of a it looks like a Doberman pinscher with a croc on its head and sitting next to a soldier from like Vietnam era, and it just says lieutenant corporal. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Anyway, she's a fascist. Will Sinnott writes, previously on Lost, Jack standing over a bleeding woman. And says, if I don't operate on her, she's going to die. Locke, looking at a hatch. This island is a living, breathing thing. Me, discovering a cave with a sign on it that says jacking off cave. Well. And my last one for this round, leaving only my post for the most. This is real. I've looked into this and it's real. Mike Tyson has a marijuana company where you can buy edibles. And it's Mike Tyson's weed company is making edibles in the shape of an ear.
Oh, jeez. My God. Wow.
They're called Mike Bites.
Wow.
And
that's messed up. That's just messed up.
That's so fucked up.
It's just
for our, like, if we have any Gen Z or young millennial listeners, you may not remember Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's ear.
Yeah.
And now he's capitalizing off of his crime. That's so fucked.
And even a person like myself who doesn't know anything about sports knew that story. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you were coherent, right? Like old enough to understand anything, then you knew that story. That was everywhere. You know, it was so wild. But anyway, okay, Mike Tyson. I mean, I'm not gonna criticize him to his face about it, if I could tell you that right now.
My favorite thing was talking about Mike Birbiglia said he found himself in a casino and he didn't know what time it was, but it was after midnight, maybe 2 a.m. or something. And he says he's like in the casino and he says, and Mike Tyson walked by me. He goes, if you ever find yourself in the vicinity of Mike Tyson, you should go home and go to bed.
That's awesome.
it's like there's no reason. Anyways, great. So, all right, into round 3, and then leading up to our amazing posts with the most. This first one I love again, man, this feature with Facebook where it takes you back into the past. This is from a year ago, 2021. And Ryan Saavedra is saying Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez suggests that former President Ronald Reagan was a racist and claims he, quote, pitted white working class Americans against brown and black working class Americans to screw over all working class Americans, unquote. And Ira Madison III replies, that's unfair. He was also a homophobe who let thousands of Americans die of AIDS. It was really fascinating. I am rather obsessed with Reagan because to quote, that show Adam Ruins Everything. Well, not that, but somebody was commenting, have you ever noticed that 99% of all the problems in Adam Ruins Everything start with Reagan? And Adam commented, checks out.
Yeah.
Look. Oh my God. Anyway, so but she came up, and one of the things that happened recently that we hadn't covered, and I've got several things to look at here, was that what's that little crap? Ben Shapiro's sister, who goes by Classic Abby, posted a picture and stirred up a hornet's nest. On the left is a picture of Madonna on a bed, and on the right is a picture of the Reagan family. And it says, this is Madonna at 63, and this is Nancy Reagan at 64. Trashy living versus classic living. Which version of yourself do you want to be? And again, to follow up on the homophobic letting people die of AIDS thing, which is entirely what the Reagans did with their policies. Meanwhile, Madonna has given millions of dollars to the support of caring with AIDS. I mean, clearly. So which version of myself do I want to be? Yeah, I want to be the one saving lives. That's where I want to be. I want to be the one helping the sick. That would be better to be. Over there,
it's more Christian. I want to point out that Madonna's more Christian than Ronald Reagan.
Hey, whoa, look at that. Indeed.
That's all I have to say.
So over here on god.daily.com, posted by God, so it has to be right. The headline is Twitter loses it over Nancy Reagan throat goat tweets following misogynistic comparison to Madonna. And there's, oh my God, you should just Google this because God has some great tweets there. And basically, one of the better ones, Dr. Allison Meek replies, Madonna and her children, and we have a real United Colors of Benetton family here. She has 6 children, it looks like. And they're all shades of the rainbow, and they all look happy and well cared for. And it says, Madonna and her children. Funny how you didn't use a photo such as this. And how many people died thanks to the Reagan stance on AIDS in the 1980s, which, by the way, was getting so much back and forth replies. I was really happy that people knew recent American history. Next off, we have Laura Jane Grace replying, an oral history of Nancy Reagan. I thought was really good. Back to the thesis. Every picture of Nancy Reagan now has new meaning, and it's a picture of Ray Charles kicking his head back and smiling, and Nancy Reagan sort of wistfully looking off in the distance, and it's dirty with this caption. It really is. Desi Jed reposted saying Nancy Reagan blew everyone in Hollywood is not slut shaming. It's finding one nice thing to say about an absolute trash goblin.
Yes, that's the right take.
I also want to give extra points for trash goblin, which I'm now using every day, all the time from here on out. Whenever I encounter a Nancy Reagan level bad boss. Okay, this next one, Camelia Blackett says, the fact that people tried to slut shame Madonna and her stands gallantly rode into the annals of history to reveal Nancy Reagan filleted the entire MGM lot is so beautiful to me as a feminist. Okay. Like it all over the place. Second to last, God posted. Anyway, lots of people are scarred for life now. Thanks, Abby Shapiro. Because a lot of people had their first understanding of what a throat goat was by finding out that Nancy Reagan was one. So Danny Washington said, everything I learned about Nancy Reagan today was against my consent. And GL Di Vittorio says Ben Shapiro's sister tried to slut shame Madonna and inadvertently caused all of Twitter to learn that Nancy Reagan had a look 9,000 America is back, baby. And finally, for this segment, Diego Diaz posts Doc Brown. Okay, tell me, future boy, who's the first lady of the United States in 1985? Marty McFly. Nancy Reagan. Doc Brown. Nancy Reagan, the blowjob queen.
God, I wish that was in those movies, dude. There's so much like that those movies did get, like the Cubs did win the pennant, Oh, that's great. All right. Now it's just time for our post with the most.
Indeed.
And here we go.
Oh.
This was far and away my my post with the most this week, most engagement, and it comes from fear of going out for introverts like myself, and it's hashtag living my best life, and it's called JOMO. It's a noun, joy of missing out, feeling content with staying in and disconnecting as a form of self-care. JOMO, no FOMO here, just JOMO. I will say this though. For anybody listening to this show who knows me in my personal life, I do want to be invited. I just want to decline your invitation. I want to respectfully say, no, I won't be going. You should invite me to everything because I promise I'm not going. So like, there's no harm in inviting me. You can just invite me and then I'll just feel good at home by myself. That's perfect. So yeah, invite me to your shit. I promise I won't go. What's your post with the most, Eric?
Nice. This one I really liked quite a bit. It saw more engagement than anything else. It is a picture of Oklahoma, and the panhandle is circled at the top right above Texas, and it says, "What goes on here?" And the reply is, "I was told Colorado paid extra to not share a border with Texas."
I love it.
Actually, absolutely excellent. Oh, let's see. Screen sharing is stopped. All right, great. So I'm done with that. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that was an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Oh,
love you, George.
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I guess it was the 21st. I'll fix it in post.
No, you won't.
I won't. I fucking won't.
Listen, I gotta jump.